How's everybody doing? Well, I feel extremely refreshed. This trip was wonderful, but of course, I had to jump right in and get to work. They have so much. I have so much to do. I have that reading coming up in a few weeks into the show in August. So it's like hitting it running. So the next series of my videos, I'm going to shoot them from the stage where I'm going to be rehearsing and preparing for the reading in June. So I'm not going to be doing the tapings in my office. I will be doing it while I'm on location. That's how I'm going to have to do it because I have no time. And then I have to do that proposal in Boston, which I plan to do a show there. And that's a year's process, which I have to begin now for next year. So, my bureau and myself, we're just running, just hitting it running. But so today, first of all, my trip it was bittersweet. They lost our luggage for 4 days. There was racial discrimination. I'm a flat out to the point where I went to certain restaurants where they wouldn't serve me or my partner. And then, of course, that Aryan part of me came out. And, suffice it to say, though, that we handled the situation with class and poise, representing the true American overseas, and I be the ugly American. Sometimes when these things happen, it teaches you to act from a place of dignity and self-respect that will make them say, well, damn, I wish I should not have done that or treated them in a certain way because we spend good money out there. But that is the way of the world. No, you always have to remember that it's not what happens to you that counts. It's what you do and how you respond to what happens to you. And I was very happy and comfortable in the way I responded. Before we begin, though, I gotta say thank you to a very special subscriber whom because everybody has given me financially with the GoFundMe page enough money to meet the target goal over. No, but as I would not be correct if I did not give thanks to that whom was the highest of all of my subscribers who have contributed financially from $1 to $5 to $1,000. To me, you're all the same. You're all angels and you're all beautiful. And this could not have happened without you. And you are a part of it. But there's always one that I have to thank. And that person is Bruce Lindstedt and his lovely wife, Tiffany Lindstedt, and their 7 wonderful children. Because this man gave close to $800. That's money out of his 7 children's mouths. Just like that $20 or that $5 or that $1, even if you give $1, it's going to cost you more than that just for the processing alone. And I value every single cent. And part of this process for me is proving that to you by showing you the performance. I get no greater kick than that. So I want to thank you for that. So Bruce, I brought something for you and your family because of your generosity. Because when you're giving that kind of monetary generosity, and you don't know the person behind that camera, you're taking a risk. And you took a very good risk. And that has to be rewarded. I won't be a good fundraiser or a good philanthropist if I did not give an equal amount of beneficial value of reward. And thank you for doing that. It comes out of love and it's healthy business because it's helping something that I believe in. And it's very hard to find people that are in your corner that will help you and back what you believe in. So I want to thank you for that. I brought here, and this bag, it's an Italian bag, shop, eat, have fun, And in here I have a couple of goodies. Well, first of all, the Lindstedt have 5 daughters and 2 sons. So I brought them something that I think they would enjoy. And it was a pride for me to do it. Because I believe that when good things happen to you, you must share it. You must be generous. Just like generous was shown to you, you have to show that generous back. Now, They kind of look like this, you know. This is Murano glass, made in Italy. Okay. This is another one. Oh, I'm not telling you the price in euros. They're different colors, and each of the different colors represent the birthstones of these 5 young ladies. Nothing but the best. And I will open one or two to show you how they look like. Real Milano glass, sterling silver, nothing cheap. So, it's so well sealed. So I'm going to open one so you can see how one looks like. If I can get it open, they seal this stuff pretty tightly. Well, this one, and it has its own little inscription, you know. This one, this belongs to some. Oh, I can't mention the names because I don't have their permission to mention their names. But he has 2 little ones, and I believe 3 older girls. The little ones, I got there something for their wrists, and the older young ladies, I got earrings and necklaces, all made of Milano glass from the finest store in Venice, in Milan, isn't it? Okay, and then I went to the Vatican City, and at Vatican City, I got Mrs. Lindstedt a special request that she wanted, and that was a rosary bead blessed by a member of the Vatican at Vatican City, which I was able to do. So here is if I can open the stuff open, and again I'm gonna talk about incompatibility of signs, so I might run a little over, but this is necessary. This has to be done, otherwise I won't be. It just won't be right. No, you have to be politically correct. Now, of course, I bought myself one too, because I gotta spend money on myself. So I bought myself a beautiful rosary, also blessed by the Vatican. The color white, or the Calling of Diamonds, which belongs to Cancer. I have a lot of Cancer in my chart, as you all know. From my parents, even though I myself am a Leo. Here, I have Mrs. Lindstedt. And Mrs. Lindstedt is a Pisces. So, of course, I bought it the color of the open sea. Yimaya. Absolutely beautiful. With the picture of the Pope. So, very important to give back. When these kinds of blessings are bestowed upon you, you have to return it. The 2 boys that the Lindstedt have are also equally compensated. But I won't mention what their gifts are. Some people might seem it's a little bit too extravagant. So, their gifts, they know what they are. But with the ladies and the young girls, they gotta be a little bit more special, right? They're our princesses, so we gotta treat them that way. And of course, I bought a soccer ball straight from Italy. Because when I was there, we were playing soccer. We had so much fun. So I bought a new one straight from Italy. So like that, we can have fun the next time we go by. And of course, I bought other goodies. And it was important for me to share with you and to share with the Lindstedt family. Thank you so much. Because now this is going to happen, and I cannot wait for you to see it. So, today we are going to begin with the incompatibility of signs. And, you might have to help me over here because so many of you have so many requests. And I did videos while I was in Europe, but guess what happened? They got lost. It always happens to me. It's terrible. I don't know what to do about it. So, I am doing that video that I did in Europe all over again. Because for some reason, when I'm abroad, I can't seem to get the videos. I don't know what happens. It just... I'll tell you. It's Saturn. It's my Saturn. Nothing I can do. So, today we are going to talk about Taurus and Aries. Taurus and Aries. Some people are still telling me that I don't do enough with Aquarius and I don't do enough with Pisces. So I checked and I thought I did quite a bit with Aquarius, but I'm still getting concerns that I'm not doing enough of certain signs. So I'm going to do Aries and Taurus. So I guess it's really incompatibility of signs since I just winged it. I'm still trying to ubicate myself, and I didn't have a chance to look at my log and see what I've done and what I haven't done. I looked at some of the requests that you have asked me, and I'm going to see if I can push that in within 2 days. At least get 10 videos done within 2 days. It's a big ambitious goal, but I'm going to try to do it. Okay, but today, I'm going to do Taurus and Aries. And that will fall under incompatibility of sign. Now, Aries and Taurus do not form a direct square because they fall right after the other. You need 3 signs apart in order to create a 90-degree square. That is now we have here. Aries and Taurus are fire, and Earth is a square, but they're too close to each other to be a complete 90-degree square. This is what we call a semi-square, which is a 45-degree square. A 45-degree square psychologically and an expression of personality and behavior is quite different than a full 90-degree square between 3 planetary or 3 astrological signs apart. So the 45-degree semi-square between Aries and Taurus will be expressed as with any other semi-square 45-degree angle with a source of irritation. Now, I've discussed that in my other videos. There's a source of irritation that can occur, can happen emotionally, it can happen intellectually, or it can happen through irreconcilable differences that can express themselves in a form of irritation and hostility, depending on what's being communicated and not being communicated. In this instance, that will have to fall under Taurus. Taurus is a fixed earth sign that is not known for being a very open communicator and really expressing and verbalizing what it needs and what it wants. And this can be a source of frustration or irritation to the Aries man if we're dealing with a Taurus woman and an Aries man. How does this combination resemble nature? Well, it's earth and fire. We know that we have a core, an iron core in our earth, and we know that earth symbolizes Taurus. So, the analogy to nature in this sense would be a tremor. Not an earthquake, but a tremor. And if we're dealing with a volcano, another expression of fire and earth, we're dealing with a roar or a growl. And if we're dealing with the heavens, we're dealing with thunder, but not a big thunder that can make it go. One that's like, no, or a car screeching down the road. Those are symbols of Taurus and Aries. So, how do we see this in human personality and behavior? And I am getting a call. And unfortunately, they are going to have to, yes, hello, you're on the air, I'm taping. Hi, I'm taping, yes, how can I help you? No, I did forget. So I'll call you back as soon as I finish taping. What was the theme about? Okay, so when I finish the taping, I will call you about Herman. No problem. Thank you. I can depend on you because if it isn't because of you, I don't know where my head would be. And I thought about you this morning, actually, about the classes. I've been organizing some classes for you. All right, so I'll call you as soon as I finish. I apologize. You know me, I'm trying to get everything together. So this video you're going to come across, okay? Say hello. This is Roxy, everybody. All righty, bye. Lovely girl. Lovely girl. Well, anyway, what I was saying, yes, the irritation, the semi-square, Taurus, and Aries. If we're dealing with a Taurus woman, not to say anything. Taurus woman, the Taurus woman can be very misunderstood and can be very complex to understand. Not without reason. She doesn't trust many people, and she doesn't care about many people either. This girl truly cares about her family, her home, and her environment. And that which she cares for, is concerned for, she's going to protect. And sometimes she might act irrationally because of it. And if you don't understand the value system in which she comes from, you're not going to understand, and you're going to misinterpret her actions, her behaviors. You have to understand that the Taurus woman has no tolerance, has no patience for bullshit. She likes things raw. She doesn't really care about people's intelligence and people's intellect. She sees people as she sees them and calls them on it. Remember, her opposite polarity is Scorpio. Don't mess with this woman. And don't think that her docile, gentle nature is a symbol of her stupidity. Because there's nothing stupid about this woman. And neither the man either. He might be slow to catch on things, but the Taurus woman is different. She's going to see you coming before you go around the corner. And then play you like a fiddle if you think that she doesn't see who you are. Now, this woman is like a centaur. She sits on the threshold, guarding and protecting and waiting whom to devour, like the lion, like the Nemean lion in the mythology of Leo. So understand that this woman is very concerned psychologically with proximity. That which is closest to her, which she can control and manipulate. Her children, her neighbors, anyone that lives in the household of the Taurus woman falls under her control. And she is not going to lose the reins for nobody. She will submit her own children to her obedience, even if it means subtly abusing them. The Taurus woman is not going to be defied, even when it's justified. And she can come across as insensitive and as abusive and ruthless and cruel. Remember, the opposite polarity of Taurus is Scorpio. So understand that this gentle earth goddess has a lot within the boils and skirts of her loins than you can ever suspect. Be careful. So, naturally, when you're dealing with the Aries man, who's dynamic, who's fast moving, thoughtless, sometimes careless, no afterthought, no forethought, just slinging and just going about his business, not meaning to hurt anybody, just being himself. Fire signs like Aries, Leo, Sag, the best benefit that these men can offer to humanity or the women is being themselves, being their fiery selves. You can see it in their eyes. It's difficult to contain fire. Remember, fire is a very dangerous element. It's the only element on the planet that when it burns, it transforms what it burns, what it touches. Water doesn't do that. Air doesn't do that. Earth doesn't do that. Fire does. So I understand that kind of energy is difficult to contain in the human personality. So when you deal with gentle, sensual, supple, and soft Taurus, it can excite her, but consume her. It's exciting. Oh, she love it. Oh, she'll love an Aries man. Remember, the ruler of Aries in classical astrology was Mars before Pluto was discovered and it was assigned to Scorpio. So understand that there's a lot of similarities and the sexual connection between the two of you, electric. It's electric. This is a beautiful combination. It truly is. It's one of my favorites. But it does fall under incompatibility of signs. Here's what the problem is. The problem is that the Aries man, he's moving so fast that he's going to appreciate the beautiful emerald that's in front of him, which does nothing to the beauty which her sign represents. Because the emerald is represented by by Taurus. Taurus, that's the stone. That's the gemstone for Taurus, is the emerald. And it's not semi-precious, it's precious stone. And nothing like it. Like Aries, ruby. Another precious stone worth in the thousands just for something small. So understand that these are very powerful signs. And the only thing that can make this combination work is if they're above age 30. Like I mentioned in my other videos, if they fully understand who they are as individuals and they've paid their dues. and and they've survived the honeymoon phase, and they've gotten to learn and accept each other as who they are, and settle their irreconcilable differences. Because you see, the issue with this combination is that because it's a semi-square, a 45-degree square, semi-square, the problem between them two will not be obvious. It will not be obvious. Not as obvious as it would if it was a full 90-degree square, where you can see where the other person is coming from, or what they're doing is so blunt and obvious that there's no way to hide it. But when you're dealing with a semi-square, the 45-degree square, you can hide it. You can pretend that it's not there. It's like the elephant in the room. That's the best way to describe the semi-square. The 45-degree square between elements. The elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. And then when you do talk about the element in the room, now you're going into the full 90-degree square. Now the situation is confronted. Now it's a head-on battle of wills, what we call a classical square. But in this situation, evolutionarily, it is going towards that process, but it's not exactly there. It's a form of irritation. And it can happen in very subtle psychological ways. Now let's flip it. And now let's talk about the man being Taurus and the woman being Aries. That will work. Because the Taurus man is so enamored by the fiery and tempestuous and unpredictable nature of the Aries woman. Remember, Scorpio is his opposite, the classical ruler of Mars, of Scorpio. So she's going to be beautiful, exciting, alluring, mysterious, and that's going to whet the appetite of the Taurus man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at it. It excited me, too. I even dropped everything. Of course. You're dealing with the earth goddess. What man would not go crazy and be excited at the prospects? You know? So the Aries woman is, he will tolerate her. Forgive her for what she drops that he needs to pick up after her. He will forgive her childlike naivete just because that in itself is sexy. She's the baby. But it's far more beautiful and more sensual. Well, it is true for the Aries man, just that, some women will tolerate a baby boy man, and some women will tolerate, some men will tolerate a little girl, like the classical schoolgirl in the porno movie, the classic schoolgirl with, that's the Aries woman in the inside. They see that classic schoolgirl, oh, don't bend over, you might show your cookies. That kind of, you know what I'm saying? And that excites any man. So the Taurus man, because he's so sensual by nature, he purrs. He's going to be fascinated. He's not going to be totally affected by the antics of the Aries woman. In fact, I would think that out of the combinations that I've so far discussed dealing with Taurus and other women, the Taurus will be willing to allow the Aries woman to be free, to be herself. He will keep the finances in order and keep all that's necessary working so that she can be who she wants to be. And I have to deal with the other mundane vicissitudes of life that most fire signs scared to deal with. So this combination actually works very well. But if it's the Taurus woman, the Aries man, she will be filing for divorce at the end. It will not be a long run. Because if the Aries man remains a baby and doesn't grow up, the Taurus woman she's going to get tired of it and will keep into the curve. So I don't expect this combination realistically to survive if there's a certain level of maturity that has not reached a certain level of acumen by age 30. It's cute below age 30, but past age 30, it's subject to question. Because it's going to truly depend on their level of development and their level of commitment towards each other, towards making it work. past the honeymoon phase. And we're done with part 1.